Good morning students. Welcome back to online classes of your analog communication. This is Aisha Sultana from ECE department. Okay, in last class we have seen the modulation and demodulation techniques for your conventional amplitude modulation, right? What was the topic that we have discussed? There are two modulators called as switching modulator as well as the square law modulator, that both are used to generate your amplitude modulator or the amplitude modulated signal, right? So after that we have seen how we are going to detect your signal or demodulate or regenerate your particular signal, right? So there also we have seen two different kinds of techniques. One is envelope detector as well as the square law detector, that is used to take out or find out your amplitude modulated signal. So in today's class we are going to see our DSP-SC signal generation. So you have to see the modulation techniques or the generation techniques to generate your DSP-SC signal. What is DSP signal? DSP signal is nothing but double sideband suppressed carrier. So what you are going to suppress over here? Here you are completely reducing your carrier signal, because we had a disadvantage in your amplitude modulation that the power is mostly used to carry your carrier signal, but the power which is required for your message signal, that is completely utilized by using your carrier signal. So that's the reason we are using your DSP-SC, where your carrier is suppressed and only sidebands are transmitted. What are the information? The main information or the message signal is completely present in your sidebands, as we said. So we are suppressing the carrier. Then after later words we will be suppressing one more sideband also, that we will see next time. So what we are having, we are generating a DSP-SC signal. So what DSP signal actually consists of? Only the sideband signals or the message signal without any carrier. We have to suppress the carrier. On to which level? To approximately negligible level you have to suppress the carrier. So as to get that DSP-SC signal or the DSP-SC wave, a product should be done between your baseband signal, that is nothing but your message signal, as well as the carrier signal. So as to generate that particular modulated output or the product output, we are using a device which is called as your product modulator. So a system that generates your DSP-SC signal is called as your product modulator. Means it will be producing your both baseband signals as well as your carrier signal. Clear? So here we are having, in this one also we are having two types. First one is your balanced modulator and second one is ring modulator. There are two types of modulator to generate your modulation of DSP-SC. Okay, so what is that one? First one is your balanced modulator and second one is your ring modulator. First we will see the balanced modulator. What are the components that we will be having in the balanced modulator? See, this balanced modulator is similar to that of your amplitude modulator. It will be identically, but it consists of two amplitude modulators. Instead of we are using one amplitude modulator. Amplitude modulator nothing but the modulator which is used to generate your amplitude modulated signal. For generating your DSP-SC signal, what we are doing? We are using two amplitude modulators which are balanced. They are having balanced configurations, means similar configurations they are having. So that's the reason we are calling it as balanced modulator. So here we are using, these are two modulators which are arranged in the balanced configuration in order to, what you have to suppress here? In order to suppress the carrier signal. So hence this is called as your balanced modulator. So what we are having in this balanced modulator, we are using two amplitude modulators, okay, and these two amplitude modulators are arranged in a balanced configuration so as to suppress your carrier signal. So that's the reason we are calling it as balanced modulator. And these two balanced modulators are to be identical, they should be identical, okay. So this is the important point. These two balanced modulator amplitude modulators what we are using here to generate your DSP-SC, they should be identical. Fine. And the carrier signal is C of t is equals to AC cos 2 pi FCT. That is applied as an input to both of your amplitude modulated modulators or AM modulators. Okay. So what is the one of the input? We will be having two inputs for your AMs or AM modulators. We have discussed or we have seen in the last class, right? So one of the input for your AM modulators or amplitude wave generator of your amplitude wave, there will be having two inputs. Out of the two inputs, one of the inputs should be your carrier signal, right? So that carrier signal is given as your C of t is equals to AC cos 2 pi FCT. The same carrier signal is applied as one of the inputs to these two AM modulators, correct? This same carrier should be applied to both of your AM modulators, which are identical and which are used for generating your DSBSC. Fine. I hope you are clear up to here. We will see the block diagram. So this is the block diagram of your balanced modulator to generate which signal, ma? To generate your amplitude modulated signal. Okay. The balanced modulator here we are using is what you are having two amplitude modulators. As I have said, these are used to generate what you are generating over here, AM signals, and a local oscillator. What local oscillator does? Local oscillator is used to generate your carrier signal. Okay, to this AM modulators, the first signal input we are giving as your message signal. Okay, one input to the modulator is in the form of your oscillator, that is your carrier signal, which generates your carrier, and the sign reversal of the another modulating signal is applied to the another input to one of your AM modulators. Why I am saying the sign reversal? See, this is the modulating signal M of t. This is applied to the input of your upper AM modulator, means this part. Here I am applying the message signal normal M of t. To the lower AM modulator or the another AM modulator, the modulating signal with opposite polarity or the phase reversal of minus M of t is applied. Sorry, this has been clipped out, ma. I'll send another one. So this minus M of t is applied as an another input to your lower amplitude modulator. Correct? So here I am giving M of t. In the next signal I am giving minus M of t and a local oscillator, right? Now see what you are having. The first signal S of t, what you are having? S of t is nothing but the output which is obtained from your first amplitude modulated block. Okay, this is S of t. S1 of t nothing but what you will be getting? This is actually a amplitude modulated generated signal. So the first output will be my amplitude modulated signal. What was the amplitude modulated signal? The general AM amplitude modulated signal equation, I think you remember, that is AC of 1 plus Ka M of t into cos 2 pi FCT. This is the basic amplitude modulated signal equation, right? You remember, everyone remember, I think. So the upper modulated wave or the first amplitude modulated wave generates the amplitude modulated wave, which is given as your S1 of t is equals to AC of 1 plus Ka M of t into cos 2 pi FCT. And the second block, the second modulator, what you have used AM modulator to this one, what you are having, this is the phase reversal, means minus 1, opposite polarity. So what is the output I will be getting here? AC of 1 minus K. Instead of plus I am getting minus M of t I am applying. So plus into minus I will be getting a minus over here. So AC of 1 minus Ka M of t into cos 2 pi FCT. So this is the lower amplitude modulator signals output and this is the upper amplitude modulator signals output. Now what you have to do after this, you are giving it to a summer block. Well, it will be doing the subtraction process. Here it will doing the minus operation. So as to get this DSBSC wave, this S of t is nothing but your combination of both your upper modulated signal and the lower modulated signal. That will be subtracted to get this one, and the block which you are using over here is the summer block. Okay, so equation for your balanced modulator will be given in terms of your subtraction of your both the first upper modulator as well as the lower modulator output. Correct? So what is the S of t? S of t, the first one is the normal amplitude modulated equation is AC of 1 plus Ka M of t into cos 2 pi fct minus, we have to do the subtraction of this both the equations, so minus AC of 1 minus ka m of t into cos 2 pi fct. Now I'll simplify the equation. What I'll get over here? So I'll multiply and get the equation AC cos 2 pi fct plus AC ka m of t into cos 2 pi fct, then minus this multiply AC into 1 into cos 2 pi fct. What I'll get? Minus AC cos 2 pi fct plus again minus a and minus k. Minus into minus, what I'll get? Plus, right? So a is plus AC ka m of t into cos 2 pi fct. So this is the equation. So what I'll get cancelled? Plus AC cos 2 pi fct and minus AC cos 2 fct. This both will be cancelled. So what is the equation I'll be getting over here? AC, this AC plus AC, what I'll get? 2AC ka m of t into cos 2 pi fct. Do you remember what is the standard equation of your DSBSC signal? If you don't, go back to the last video what we have seen of DSBSC signal, that you will get the standard equation of your DSBSC. What was the standard equation of your DSBSC? Is S of t is equals to AC m of t into cos 2 pi fct. This was the standard equation of your DSBSC. So only one scaling factor we have got over here, that is Ka is 2 Ka. Instead of you are using here 2 Ka is the scaling factor that we have obtained. So this is the similar signal of your DSBSC. So by using your balanced modulator, we have obtained what you got? We got your modulated signal without any carrier. See this carrier has been cancelled. Okay, we are removing the carrier over here. This scaling factor that we will be getting, this we can also be removed afterwards, correct? So this is your AC m of t into cos 2 pi fct. This is your DSBSC signal which is obtained by using your balanced modulator. I hope you are clear with the balanced modulator. Okay, now next one what you are having is ring modulator, right? By the name itself, you will get to know what you are having in this ring modulator. See, in this ring, one of the most widely used circuit for generating your DSBSC signals or DSBSC modulated wave is your ring modulator. As to whenever, if you are going for the DSBSC modulation, if you want to extract that particular DSBSC modulated wave, we always refer ring modulator. See, this ring modulator consists of 4 diodes, because we are using nonlinear elements, right, with which is having nonlinear characteristics. So we are using the diodes, and the diodes which we are used here are 4 diodes. Now count is 4 diodes, and they are connected in the form of ring structure. So that's the name we are that's the reason we have given the name it as ring modulator. So how many we are having? We consist of 4 diodes, D1, D2, D3, D4. We have named it like that, and which are connected in the ring structure. Hence the modulator is named as your ring modulator. Plus it is also having 2 center tapped transformers in this one. Okay, we are having 2 center tapped transformers and 4 diodes. Clear? Now see, this is the block diagram of your which one? Ring modulator. As I have already said, we are having 2 center tapped transformers over here, okay, and we are having the 4 diodes which are connected in the form of ring, and that's the reason we have got the name it as ring modulator. And the message signal is applied in first transformer. This is a transformer T1. Here we are applying the first message signal T1, and this is the next another transformer. Here we will be getting our modulated output. Okay, at this point S of t is your modulated output, right? Which modulation? DSBSC modulated output will be obtained in the second center tapped transformer, and in the first one we are getting your message signal. Here modulated signal. Here you will be generating your carrier, as well as all the operation remaining will be done over in these 4 diodes. Okay, let's see the operation. First we will see the positive operation. Okay, means positive half cycle. Because what we are saying, the diodes which are, these diodes are completely controlled by using only your square wave carrier signals. So what we are doing here, we are getting a square wave carriers. Okay, we are getting, remember this point, we are having square wave carriers. Okay, so these diodes are controlled by a square wave carrier and its frequency or the carrier frequency FC. It is controlled by either square wave carrier or its frequency, and that are applied to your center tapped transformers. So by applying this carrier frequency to the center tapped transformers, you are getting the message signal and it is modulated, you are getting the modulated output. Okay, first we will see the positive half cycle during, okay, the operation during the positive half cycle. Okay, clear with the block diagram of your ring modulator, right? So for the first thing, during the positive half cycle, what happens when the carrier signal or when the carrier is positive? Okay, as we are considering which kind of signals, square wave carrier signals. Okay, the first part in this one, the carrier is supplying, whatever the supplying is positive. So at that condition, this D1 and D2 will be on condition, or they are on, means they are in the forward bias condition. Okay, I am repeating it once again. When the carrier signal is positive, then the diodes D1 and D2 are in forward bias condition. It means your D3 and D4 will be in reverse bias condition. Clear? They are reverse bias condition. So during the positive half cycle, the output message signal is positive, and that is given at your which transformer? At the T2 transformer. Okay, during the positive half cycle of your carrier, D1 and D2 are in the forward bias condition, means the modulator is multiplying the message signal with positive 1 plus 1 you are multiplying. Okay, so this gives your output as the positive cycle or the positive signal of your message signal is given to the transformer T2, or else the output message signal of T2 is positive. This one. Okay, so I'll repeat it once again. In the positive half cycle of the carrier, okay, so D1 D2 are on, means they are in forward bias. It means D3 and D4 are off, which are in reverse bias. This you can see here, these are off. Okay, and the secondary of your T1 is applied. What is the secondary of T1? Here the message signal is applied to your which signal? To the center tapped transformer T2, and the output of this your modulated wave will be the positive cycle. Okay, that was the during positive cycle. Now during the negative half cycle, during the negative half cycle, what happens? Negative half cycle of your carrier, because we are seeing the square waves of your carrier. So during the negative half cycle of your carrier, what happens? Now the diodes D3 and D4 will be in on condition, means these both are now in the forward bias, and D1 D2 are in reverse bias, right? So D1 D2 will be in the reverse bias, and D4 and D3 are in forward bias. Hence now the modulator multiplies the message signal with -1. -1 means what you have said in the starting in the last class for the generation of, we have seen the modulation technique of DSPSC. It will be having 180 degrees of phase shift. We have said, I hope you people remember, right? So whenever you are having this DSPSC signal, the modulated signal will be having the 180 degrees of phase shift, because the message signal will not be out of the envelope. It will be in the envelope itself, but it will be having the 180 degrees of phase shift when you are having which one? Negative half cycle of your carrier signal. Correct? So hence the modulating signal undergoes 180 degrees of phase shift at the output. And what at the which center tap? At the T2 center tap, we are getting the output of 180 degrees phase shift. Clear? I'll repeat it once again. In the negative half cycle of the carrier, the diodes D3 and D4 are turned on. It means they both are in forward bias. D1 and D2 will be in reverse bias. They both are in off, and hence the modulator multiplies the message signal with -1. So your modulating signal undergoes 180 degrees of phase shift at the output, and that output is given at the second center tap. Clear? Now see. This is the output waveform how we will be getting. Alright. So this is the message signal. Okay. This is the low frequency message signal, and this is the carrier signal what we have given. In the first, the positive half cycle, which one are conducting? D1 and D2. Right. D1 and D2 are conducting. Means these both are in off position. right? So we are saying D1 D2 are conducting and the message signal is multiplied with +1, means you are having the positive cycles. It means your negative cycles are, your message signal will be multiplied with -1. So D1 D2 are conducting in the first positive half cycle, and in the second positive half cycle, negative half cycle, D3 and D4 are conducting. See in this part, positive first cycle is this one. In the positive half cycle, D1 D2 are conducting. In the negative half cycle, D3 and D4 are conducting. And the after completing of this cycle, whenever you are going, you will be getting a phase shift of 180 degrees, and this message signal will not be out of your envelope. This will be inside of your envelope. So this is the reason there is no loss of information or no extra distortion will be added. So this is the plus point for this one. Okay, this is the message signal. I hope you are clear with this figure. Okay, this is the message signal and this is your carrier signal. When this is are multiplied, in the first half cycle D1 D2 are conducting, and the second half cycle means in the negative half cycle D3 and D4 are conducting. See, I am giving it in the, different colors, the purple and blue, you can understand over here. And this is the output of your DSBSC wave, double sideband suppressed carrier output. Clear? See, this is the ring modulator output equation. Mathematically half year. In the last class when you are seeing the which one ma? Envelope data, sorry, switching modulators. Okay, in switching modulator we have seen that we are giving the pulse train, correct? There we have seen the Fourier series of your pulse train. If you are using a square wave, square shaped carrier waves, then we got a pulse train, and to that we have also seen the Fourier series. Here also we are seeing the same one, because the carrier which we are using is a square wave carrier, and the whose Fourier series representation is given in this form. I have given in the last class also. You please go through that last class. You will get to know how we have got these equations and all. So if the carrier wave is a square wave, and the Fourier series representation of your carrier wave will be C of t is equals to 4 by pi summation n is equals to 1 to infinity. Right, this is the representation, Fourier representation of your square wave. Okay, and -1 whole to the power of n minus 1 by 2n minus 1 cos 2 pi fct of 2n minus 1. So by applying n is equals to 1, we will be getting the answer of your Fourier series, and then you will be getting the output modulated wave. So we will get this DSBSC wave S of t is equals to in this form. So this is the output. This is your carrier signal, only message signal is multiplied. Okay, so this is the above representation is the representation of your DSBSC wave, which is obtained at the second center tapped transformer of your ring modulator. This is how you will be getting your output of at the center output of your DSBSC wave. Clear? I hope you are clear with this one. I'll revise once again. So today we have seen the modulation techniques for your DSBSC generation. Okay, double sideband suppressed carrier. In that one we are having two techniques. First one is balanced modulator and second one is ring modulator. What is the balanced modulator? What are the block diagram we have seen? We are using two amplitude modulated generators, means two AM modulators are used, and they are like situated or built in such a condition the both configurations should be balanced. Okay, we are balancing two modulators and we are building that one, so it is called as a balanced modulator. In that both of two amplitude modulators, the first message signal will be positive and the second phase input will be given as minus m of t, that is of opposite polarity. You are giving input as your second amplitude modulator. To that one more input should be given, and that is given by your local oscillator which generates your carrier frequency or the carrier signal. Right? To that one, both the amplitude modulated waves are given to a summer where it subtracts your S1 of t and S2 of t, which gives your standard equation of your DSBSC signal. This was your standard equation of your DSB signal. In the second ring modulator, what we are having, the difference is that there we didn't use the carrier wave, or the carrier wave which is used was not a square wave. Here in the ring modulator, the carrier wave which we are using is a square wave. So that's the reason we are going for the Fourier series of your square wave and then getting the output of your DSBSC. correct? So in ring modulator, what you are having? 4 diodes and 2 center tapped transformers. One center tapped transformer where you are getting the input message signal M of t, and at the second center tapped transformer you are getting the modulated output. For as we are using a square carrier wave, so first for the first positive half cycle, D1 D2 will be in the on condition, it means they are in the forward bias, and D3 D4 will be off, they are in the reverse bias. So in the positive half cycle, the message signal is multiplied with 1 and you will be getting only positive cycles at the output side. In the negative half cycle, what happens? D3 and D4 are on and D1 D2 are in the off stage, means they are now, what happens here in this output, you are getting a 180 degrees phase shift of your modulating signal. Okay, so the message signal is multiplied with -1, it means you are getting a 180 degrees of phase shift. So this is the output of your DSPS ring modulator output. So the output equation will be given in terms of Fourier series representation of your square wave, and the output of your DSPSC wave S of t is equals to C of t into M of t. What is C of t? C of t here, carrier wave we are using in the ring modulator is your square wave, and that Fourier series representation will be considering and getting the output as the above equation, which is represented as DSPSC wave, which is obtained at the output transformer of your ring modulator. I hope you are clear with this topic of your generation of your DSPSC signal. In the next class, we will be seeing the demodulation techniques of your DSP signal, that is your coherent detection and post-starch loop detection. That are the last 2 topics of your first chapter. In the next class, hopefully we will finish our first unit completely. If you are having any doubts regarding the first units, please let me know. Okay, for today's class, we will end the class up to here. Thank you.